We're now stepping into the first sacred days of July, a time when the veil between the heavens and the earth thins, and the planets begin to chart a divine corridor between fate and fortune. This isn't just another month on the calendar. This is the beginning of a cosmic opening, foretold in the scrolls of astrology and whispered in the ancient words of Nostradamus. In this first week of July, the universe opens a rare and radiant portal, a gateway to financial abundance. But make no mistake, that doorway is not open to everyone. Only 4 zodiac signs are being quietly called by the universe, chosen to walk through the strongest financial stream of the year. As the stars align and form a corridor of opportunity, new resources, allies, and unexpected moments of divine timing begin to reveal themselves. And here's the truth most people overlook. You don't need to rebuild your whole life to experience a breakthrough. Sometimes it only takes a single decision, a quiet yes, or a conversation at the right moment to pivot your entire destiny. So ask yourself, are you one of the 4 chosen zodiac signs? Is the divine, and perhaps even God, gently guiding you toward a breakthrough that could change your financial life forever? If something inside you just whispered yes, let's begin with the first of the 4. Libra. As we enter the first week of July, Libra finds itself standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. The planets aren't just shifting, they're orchestrating a sacred movement, forming a golden pattern designed specifically for you. Your ruling planet, Venus, the guardian of love, beauty, and wealth, begins to shine in your 10th house, the realm of public image, career, and destiny. But this isn't ordinary astrology. Venus is forming a perfect trine with Jupiter, the great benefactor of expansion, opportunity, and divine blessings. And what this creates is something astrologers refer to as a golden convergence, a sacred moment where inner value meets outer reward, where what you believe you're worth finally becomes reflected in the world around you. It's not loud, it's not flashy. It arrives like a soft whisper from God, a gentle knowing that something has shifted. Opportunities begin to appear, not because you're chasing them, but because you're now finally aligned to receive. You may notice it in a subtle way. A project resurfaces. An old connection reaches out. An idea you once doubted begins to shine again. But none of this is random. Because Libra, this month isn't asking you to try harder. It's asking you to trust deeper. Mercury, the planet of communication and intelligence, is standing quietly beside you, refining your message, helping you say the right thing at the right time to the right person. And what once felt like hesitation, that constant back and forth in your mind, it begins to melt. You're no longer asking, "Should I?" You're asking, "How do I begin?" This isn't about proving your worth to others. It's about finally recognizing it within yourself. The ideas you once called small, the skills you thought were just average, they are now the keys unlocking a higher level of abundance. You are not just attracting income, you're being called into a new identity, a more elevated role you once only imagined. It might come through a surprising recommendation, a collaboration offer, or a chance to reclaim something you once rejected. But the message is clear. Now is the time. This moment is a gift, but it will not come again in this exact way. So what's required of you? Not hustle, not perfection, but clarity, trust, and action. The Magician card appears in your spiritual field, a reminder that you already carry all the tools you need. You are not missing anything. But now, it's your turn to step forward and use what you've been given. And here's the miracle. As soon as you stand up for your path, everything starts to meet you halfway. Doors open, support appears. What once seemed unreachable suddenly feels destined. Those who once overlooked you, now they listen. The very ideas that were once dismissed, now they're being welcomed, because the universe rewards action aligned with truth. And for Libra, this is a sacred invitation to stop waiting for permission, to stop waiting for perfect conditions, to simply step forward and own the truth. You are enough right now. Visualize Archangel Michael standing tall with the scales, not just a symbol of justice, but of divine reward. When your actions are guided by your highest values, your life begins to harmonize, relationships smooth out, work begins to flow, and financial prosperity follows, not as a demand, but as a natural outcome. So here is your mantra for July. I walk with God in every decision I make. I don't need to chase wealth. I am aligned with it. This first week of July doesn't require struggle. It only asks that you trust the path, stay loyal to your soul, and begin. And even the smallest step, if done in faith, can unlock a new world. So live fully, act with quiet confidence, and remember, you're not walking this path alone. God is walking beside you, and the universe is waiting for your simple answer. I'm ready. If you feel this message resonates deeply, comment with the number 8 below, a symbol of abundance and infinite alignment. Taurus, following Libra, who awakens through clarity and courage. The next zodiac sign the universe is calling into this first week of July's abundance is Taurus. But for Taurus, the journey isn't about breaking through, it's about returning. Returning to the foundation, returning to truth, returning to the deep, quiet strength that's always lived inside you. This is not a season of racing forward. It's a sacred process of rebuilding from the ground up. And every brick you lay this July is filled with meaning, faith, and unshakable purpose. Your ruling planet, Venus, begins its radiant return to your own sign during this first week, like a king returning home to his rightful throne. And with it comes a revival of self-worth, a renewed sense of personal magnetism, a deeper knowing that everything you need to generate abundance already lives within you. This isn't just planetary motion, it's a soul activation. Venus forms a harmonious aspect with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and financial blessing. What this creates for you, Taurus, is a channel of grace where everything you've nurtured over time, your skills, your relationships, even the small investments of love and effort you made years ago, now come alive again. What once lay dormant is now ripe for harvest. This could appear as unexpected income from an old project, a collaborator from your past, bringing new opportunity, or a long-held skill being rediscovered, now more relevant, more valuable than ever before. But unlike others, Taurus isn't asked to gamble. You're not being asked to leap blindly into risk. You're being invited to deepen your roots, to come back to your values, to your steadiness, to the quiet power that has always made you unshakable. The universe is saying, you don't need to become someone new to receive wealth. You only need to fully become yourself. July isn't about revolution for you. It's about restoration. This is a powerful time to restructure your financial world. Review your spending. Reconsider what you once dismissed. Reclaim forgotten potentials. Because in those very overlooked places, the corners others ignore, there is gold waiting to be rediscovered. Not because you got lucky, but because you stayed true, because you preserved what mattered, even when no one was watching. The prosperity arriving now comes not from noise, but from stillness. It flows through awareness, through your ability to honor what once felt too small to matter. But now, it matters more than ever. The Hierophant card, your spiritual mirror, emerges this month, not to push you into change, but to call you back to your sacred center. It says, when you walk in alignment with your soul's truth, success becomes inevitable, not rushed, not forced, but deep, lasting, and divine. In Scripture, your journey this July mirrors the path of Joseph, sold, betrayed, left behind, and yet, never losing faith. And because Joseph remained faithful, patient, and wise, God didn't just restore him, He elevated him, placing him as the overseer of abundance for an entire nation. Taurus, like Joseph, Your blessings aren't meant only for you. They are meant to restore faith and structure to those around you. You may not seek the spotlight. You may not crave recognition. But this July, the universe is entrusting you with leadership, not through tidily, but through your steady presence, through your example, through your unwavering alignment. You are being asked not to follow the crowd, but to become the lighthouse others can find in the storm. This isn't just financial growth. This is sacred responsibility. Because when you are entrusted with value, spiritual and material, God expects you to use it to build something meaningful, something that lasts. So remember this: I don't need to rush. God has already chosen the time for me to bloom. And that time is now. In this first week of July, move slowly, move with grace, move with faith in what you've already built. Review your investments, nurture the familiar, cherish the relationships that have lasted. And know that prosperity is not arriving from some distant miracle. It is rising from the life you've already lived. God is not asking you to start over. He's asking you to see your life through His eyes, with reverence, gratitude, and trust. Because the smallest seed, when nurtured in faith, can grow into a tree of abundance for generations. If you're a Taurus, type the number 8 in the comments, a sacred signal to the universe that you're ready to receive through trust, not force. Aquarius, after Taurus rises through stillness and sacred values, the next zodiac sign being called into divine alignment during the first week of July is Aquarius. But for you, Aquarius, the journey is radically different. While others are grounding, you're ascending. While others are returning, you are leaping ahead. Because your spiritual task this month is simple: to see beyond what exists, to create what does not yet exist. This first week of July is not a pause for you. It is ignition, a moment where divine timing meets visionary thinking. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the sound of the future calling your name. This month, Uranus, your ruling planet, the wild architect of innovation, freedom, and surprise, forms powerful angles with Jupiter, the planet of abundance and fortune. And when these two giants align, they don't whisper, they explode with potential. It's a cosmic green light for progress, brilliance, and bold moves. To most people, July may feel subtle, but to Aquarius, this is the beginning of the next chapter. A chapter only you can write. That strange idea you had, that tech platform you were playing with, that hobby that made no sense to anyone else. Now it may become your greatest breakthrough. Because Aquarius, you've never been meant to fit in. You were born to stand apart. Where others are afraid to move, you see blueprints. Where others see instability, you see innovation. Where others want the familiar, you build the future. This week, Mercury, the planet of communication, contracts, and connections, moves into your 11th house, the realm of communities, networks, and collective dreams. And suddenly, your words gain magnetic power. An idea you share in passing might get picked up. A comment you leave in a group could lead to funding. A message you send might reach the exact person who can open a door. You're no longer just speaking, you're broadcasting destiny. Your voice is becoming a signal that reaches the right souls. And while the world around you feels fast, distracted, and loud, you remain still in your vision. Because something is awakening. The star card, your spiritual archetype, emerges this July as your divine companion. Not as a promise of instant results, but as a sacred assurance that your path, though different, is guided, that your light, though distant, is visible. The star says, even when no one else sees what you see, even when you're unsure where it's going, keep going. Because Aquarius, this is your season to plant ideas that others will one day live by. And when doubt creeps in, as it always does, look to the story of Daniel in the lion's den. He didn't resist. He didn't fight. He stood in quiet truth, and the lions, meant to destroy him, were made harmless by his faith. That's your call this July. You don't need to push, you don't need to prove. You need only to stand firm in your authenticity, to trust that the God who gave you this vision has already prepared the ground for it to grow. This is a divine experiment. You're building something no one else can imagine, and the world may not understand you yet, but it doesn't need to. You're not here to be understood, you're here to lead. So let go of needing applause, let go of needing clarity. Hold on to one thing. I don't need to see the full picture to take the next step. I just need to trust the light God placed inside me. This first week of July is not just financial for Aquarius, it's foundational. You are creating systems, brands, and ideas that may ripple across time. You may not see the full impact yet, but what you begin now will be remembered later. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your original blueprint. So speak, building, share, connect, and trust that even in uncertainty, God is already walking ahead of you. If you're an Aquarius, comment with the number 8, a sign that you're planting seeds with faith, not fear. Capricorn. And now, the final sign to be called forward in this sacred week, a sign whose strength lies not in speed, but in endurance, not in noise, but in discipline. Capricorn, the quiet builder, the wise gatekeeper of long-term value. While others chase fast gains or fleeting recognition, you, Capricorn, are being summoned into something far more powerful, a financial alignment that is strategic, enduring, and divinely orchestrated. In this first week of July, Jupiter, the planet of fortune and expansion, enters into a powerful position across from your sign, casting its light on partnerships, alliances, and sacred agreements. But this is not a challenge, it is a mirror, one that reflects the people around you, who's worth building with, who no longer belongs in your future, and who may unexpectedly return to offer you something of great value. This is the week where financial doors begin to open. Not through solo effort, but through the right relationships, a mentor, an advisor, a collaborator from your past, an institution that once passed you by but now seeks your leadership. Capricorn, this is not about doing more, it's about choosing who you build with and why. At the same time, Mercury, planet of strategy and financial clarity, moves into your 8th house, the house of shared resources, transformation, and investment. Suddenly, your financial world becomes sharper, cleaner, more defined. The areas that once felt blurry, contracts, loans, debts, investments, now come into crystal clear focus. You're not just adjusting numbers, you're laying the blueprint for the next 6 to 12 months of your financial future. Capricorn, this is your genius, not the spark of risk, but the strength of structure. And the universe is honoring that now. You are not being given quick wins. You are being trusted to build something sacred that can withstand time. The Emperor card arises for you this week, not as a symbol of dominance, but as a divine reflection of your true nature, stable, responsible, unshakable. The Emperor reminds you, true wealth doesn't come from chasing trends. It flows from wisdom, from strategy, from leadership rooted in truth. Capricorn, you are stepping into your architect era, the builder of systems that others will rely on, the one who turns plans into outcomes. And it's not by luck, it's because you've carried the weight. You've walked the silent path. You've made the hard choices when no one else was watching. And now, the reward is arriving. But not just for you. Just like King Solomon, who asked not for riches or revenge, but for wisdom to govern justly. God is rewarding you with more than wealth. He's giving you influence, stewardship, and the opportunity to restore balance in the lives of those around you. Because Capricorn doesn't seek power, you seek order, you seek to protect, to lead, to hold. And that's exactly what this week brings. The power to restructure, the wisdom to refine, and the divine timing to act with precision. You're not here to compete. You're here to command with grace. Your finances, your business, your future. They don't need to be louder. They need to be clearer. This week, spend time reviewing your financial systems, the partnerships you're nurturing, the long-term goals that have been pushed aside. Because the universe is saying, what you build in this season will become the shelter for future generations. And that's who Capricorn is, the one who builds not for applause, but for legacy. So let go of the noise, let go of comparison, stand tall in your clarity, your integrity, and your deep knowing that you are chosen to lead. Here is your mantra for this sacred window of July. I was born to endure. I build what matters. And when I act with wisdom, God multiplies what I create. You're not here for quick money. You're here for real wealth. Wealth that grows, wealth that serves, wealth that lasts. If you're a Capricorn, type the number 8 in the comments, a symbol of infinite order, sacred structure, and the divine power to lead. And now, as we bring this journey to a close, I invite you, not just to pause, but to breathe. Not for this video, not for the signs you've just heard, but for you. Because what you've just received is more than astrology. It's more than prediction. It is a divine message, whispered through symbols, patterns, and planetary alignments. A message confirming that you're not wandering aimlessly. You're being guided. These 4 signs were not chosen at random. They were called because something inside them, something ancient, steady, and divine, is ready to awaken. And if you felt something stir inside you while listening, if even one word felt like it was written just for you, then this message was meant for you. The first week of July is not just a shift in time, it is the opening of a spiritual gate, a moment where God and the cosmos lean in closer, where your financial path becomes clearer, where everything that once felt delayed begins to move, not in chaos, but in alignment. And now the question becomes, will you move with it? Because abundance doesn't arrive through waiting. It arrives through alignment, through faith-filled action, through courage to begin, even when you don't know what comes next. So whether you are Libra, Taurus, Aquarius, or Capricorn, or whether your heart simply recognizes truth within their journeys, know this: you don't need to force anything. You don't need to fix what's not broken. You only need to step forward with the truth that, I am ready for the next chapter of my life. And when you say that, with clarity and conviction, heaven responds. So walk into this week with peace, speak with intention, decide with trust, move with the knowing that God is not far. He is right here, working beside you, within you, and ahead of you. This is your season. This is your sign.